All right, traders. Trade Journal, April 7. April goals: win 50% of my trades or more. I want 3R plus a month. No, a week. I want 3R a week. I want 10R a month. And I want to pass funding challenge. These are my goals. I need to get rid of this pen. Okay, pen. You are old. I'll put you on the floor. I thought I have another pen yet. So how are we doing? After 7 trades, I have a 72% win rate. My RR is 1.2 RR, so this is pretty good. I have plus 3R going into today, and then I've passed a free trial challenge. So arguably I passed a trial. And then I'm plus 4.5R, needing 8R on one of my funding challenges. And I'm negative 1.5R on another funding challenge. So really good coming into the month. And if I can keep this up week after week, I will never have to worry about money ever again in my life. That sounds good. So right now this is vital to me. It's super important to me. And while that would be nice to gain, what I don't want to lose is to blow up all my money and have to go get some 9-to-5 job. Going back to work is, I consider it to be not an option. So I need to be successful at this thing immediately. What's helping me? Psychology. I'm not going to go into too much detail here because I've been talking about it in other videos, but self-trust, trusting myself, and expecting to win is big. And then also just putting pieces of the puzzle together. Putting the puzzle together. Okay. Putting the puzzle together. What do I mean? Well, I mean that I don't think there's one key to being successful at trading. There's price action, having a system, having a schedule, having good habits, having good stress management, having emotional awareness, having good execution, having good psychology. I'm not sure if I said that one. And putting it all together, having capital, access to capital. There's a lot of different things. There's not one thing. And me working at this thing every single day, I'm starting to put enough pieces of the puzzle together to become a consistent winner, and which I'd never been before. You know, I had winning months, 3 or 4 months at the end of last year, but I was lacking so much. I was checking the charts all the time. Didn't have a coherent system. Even in my losing months, like my understanding of price action has gotten much better. My system has gotten much better. My scheduling has gotten much better. My psychology has gotten much better. My stress level has gotten much better, and I know this because I track my sleep on this ring, and my sleep is so much better. It's improved so much, and I know a lot of that has to do with not checking charts all the time, but also just I'm not really, it's only been a week, but I'm really not stressed about it anymore. And I was causing myself a lot of stress, wasn't sleeping well over having a bunch of risk open overnight. And I think part of that is just having the expectancy to lose, where now I have the expectancy to win. And when I'm getting in trades that have an 80% win rate or 70% win rate, I assume I'm going to win. I have a stop loss in case it's a bad signal and I lose. There's breaking news, a huge whale comes, something happens. It's just sometimes there's bad signals, but I just assume I'm going to win. I don't feel really the need to check the charts a whole lot, and I'm way more relaxed about trading. So that is high win rate trading. I'm a big fan of it. 72%, 80% win rate with a low 1 RR. I'm happy and fine with that. I get on average, say a trade a day or something like that. That sounds good to me. Like, I want to win most of my trades. It's not super important, it's high risk reward. Because if I have a really high win rate, I can manage a lot of capital and win consistently. I can make a lot of money, right? If I have an 80% win rate with, say, a 1 RR, I can take on a lot of risk. And yeah, I'm going to lose, but over 5 trades, I win 4 of them. Yeah, you can take on a lot of risk. It's not really that stressful. Okay, so where are we? I have a long on ETH, and before I look at the chart here, I just want to comment that I don't know. I put it on 7 hours ago. It's possible I got stopped out and lost already. I don't know what's going to happen, but based on my understanding of price action, candlestick pattern, and a little bit of back testing, this trade to me has an 80% or greater chance of being a win. If I realize profit tomorrow, I could add to it, and it depends what you do with your risk, right? But based on the chart pattern, I know it has a really high probability chance of winning, and I'm going to get into the chart pattern. It's a really simple pattern, but the point is that, or the point that I want to make is like, I feel zero desire to check on this trade. I want to wait until 24 hours to see, give it time to develop and see how it goes. There's a chance that I'll be punished, that there will be like an exit signal tonight, but I just don't want to bring on any stress and see that I got stopped out when I assume that I won and I have to check tomorrow anyways. And there's generally not an action for me to take. I don't really want to stop out tonight anyways. I would prefer to wait to have some sort of I'd prefer to wait to have more confirmation anyways. It's generally better to let my winners run for 24 hours before I close them or more. But the point, like what I'm getting at is, like, I don't need to check. I'm so low stress about it just from knowing it's really high probability, knowing for a fact mathematically this has a huge probability of working. Whereas yesterday, when I just took a bad entry on not the best signal, which by the way, if I had ran a wider stop, would look like it's going to win now. So that loss was pretty unnecessary, but knowing like I think this is going to lose, I just wanted to watch it all day. I wanted to check on it. I wanted to see how it was going, expecting to lose, hoping it would turn into a winner. And having a stop, and my stop did get hit off eventually, but that's the difference where like I'm putting on all these bad trades and I want to watch them to see that maybe they'll turn around, and just bring so much stress. And if I just wait for these 80% probability trades, which happen, 80% chance of a 1R, like this happen all the time, honestly, and it's undervalued having a high win rate, low risk reward, but it's not that hard to do. And putting on those trades, like, it's so little stress because one, I'm probably gonna win, but two, like I'm not euphoric. It's not gonna be a crazy winner, right? I risk 1,000. I'm probably gonna win. I'm probably gonna make like 1 to 2 grand off this trade, right? It's nothing crazy. I'm not stressed about it. It's not gonna cause insane euphoria. It's just solid, consistent growth that I can do week after week. Again, I might have lost this trade, but it's a long on ETH. So over the past month, we had a breakout, swept the highs, formed this new range, swept these lows. We had a break up here, right on top, held a breakout, broke out higher, pulled back, swept, and pulled back in. So this is where I'm going to go to a lower time frame, and then also we're going to look at the daily. This is primarily an ETH trade. So this here, let's magnify this. What's going on there? Okay, so we had a breakout and a consolidation area. This consolidation area is above the previous range high. So it was a confirmed breakout, and I was long here. We had to move up. This is where I exited my long, which I got into down here. It was a really good move. I got 3R on that move with the wide stop. We had a little wick sweep. We pulled back into this consolidation area. This is where I longed yesterday. We did sweep this local low. But what happened last night is we dropped down, and today we started to pull back in. So we had like a wick right here. What's the trade? What makes it so good a trade? It's a long, and the reason that it's likely to win is simply that we swept the previous day's low on 2 consecutive days. I'm going to draw out the daily, but if you go look on the chart and you find days where we either swept the previous day's high 2 straight days or swept the previous day's lows 2 straight days, there was almost always a reversal on the following day. Not always. I think I found 10 instances and only 1 didn't have a reversal. Of those 10 winners, there were a couple that weren't really tradable because after sweeping, it moved immediately, and then the day closed after a big move. It's hard to find an instance. I found 1, and I looked at over 10 examples. It's hard to find 1 where we sweep the lows multiple times and don't move in the other direction. We have a double failed breakdown, right? So I'm assuming I'm going to win this trade. I'm not going to hang on for whatever. Like I might exit it tomorrow depending on how the candle looks. I might have taken a loss. It's fine. I want to give it time to play out though. But I don't really feel a need or a reason to check on it right now to ruin the vibe. But so from a daily, what it looked like, this area, this little thing, we have our breakout. So we had a big breakout. The breakout held above the range high, had a small wick on it. Then the next day's candle had a pretty big wick on it, but was another held breakout. The next day, where we are here, was pretty big red, but we swept the low and we came back in. Okay, now, in retrospect, this long probably would have worked if I had used a wide stop, but I should have waited on this. And we'll look at Bitcoin and the ETH BTC chart, which also give additional confluence for why this could be a good trade. But this wasn't the best long because on this chart, because we did not reverse green after sweeping the low, and the candle body was small. The candle body was bigger than the wick. I either want to see the wick bigger than the candle body or a reverse green. Now, today's candle, we swept the low again, this time with a big wick and a small body. So we swept this low twice. 2 days in a row, we swept the low. That on the daily is an extremely high probability chance of a reversal. So I'm going to show you the other charts to give some more confluence to it. But just that as a trade, the expectation is that tomorrow will be green. And I don't know how green it would be. There's 3 levels here, which could be possible exits if we sweep those. But there's also up here, there's another level from an old weekly swing high from last year, which is something to pay attention to. I think from July or August. But so managing this trade, once I have a really good signal, I just want to get into that trade. A lot of the times that we have double sweep, the next day, if we have reversal, it's a huge candle body, small wick, and there's not necessarily a good retracement to get on. So I'm happy to I'm happy to just market enter here and then try to not look at the chart. because there's a good chance it's going to go against me at some point, and I really don't want to see that. Ideally, I'd rather come back later. Now my stop loss, I put it in the low of the day, and I put it at the low of the day because I cannot find a situation where we swept the low 3 straight days. I've never seen that. It's probably happened, but sweep the high 3 straight days, sweep the low 3 straight days, it doesn't really happen. And if we move in the other direction, I'm either advancing my stop or I'm taking profit. I don't need a wide stop to come back. Now I have seen, it's rare, but we sweep the lows 2 days in a row and then we break down. That's something that can happen. And it can happen that we sweep the lows 3 days in a row. That's possible. It's just not very likely. So I put my stop right at the low. Now, a couple other things. ETH BTC on a high time frame, like a very high time frame, was doing something like this. Where we had on a very high time frame, we're bouncing. On a lower time frame, ETH put in like 3 big green streaking days. Then I put in a red day. And then I put in a green day today with a big wick. So that's a long on the ETH BTC. ETH is coming back versus Bitcoin. ETH dominance looked good too, is sweeping the lows. So ETH is showing relative strength. Also relevant, April 12 is the Shanghai upgrade for the ETH 2.0 network, which it's just a narrative, it's a talking point, it's a catalyst for price to go up. What actually happens with that upgrade, I'm not exactly sure, but I know one thing is those people who staked their ETH, I think they're going to be able to withdraw them and sell billions of dollars potentially. So this seems like a buy the rumor, sell the news sort of event, but I'm happy to participate in buying the rumor and possibly having a nice breakout where people are just, oh, ETH 2.0 ETH's in the conversation right now because it's having an upgrade, it's having an update. What's that upgrade do? What's that update do? It's sort of, Bitcoin had its moment with the banks. That seemed to have been squashed pretty quickly just by the Fed saying, hey, unlimited liquidity. Bitcoin rallied nicely. Now ETH is having its moment. So the last confluence for me for this to be a long is on the Bitcoin chart, which isn't as strong a reason, but is a reason. So Bitcoin, it's definitely not a strong reason. Like Bitcoin is still kind of chopping in this range where we've sweeping the high, sweep the low, sweep the high, sweep the low. I think sweep the high again and like just kind of like chopping in the middle. It's like a mess. But where we are locally, if I'm calling this right, we swept 2 levels. We came down. We swept the previous day's low. And then we have an inside bar day. So on the daily chart, it looks like there was a green day with a big wick. Then we had a red day with a big wick, which is a long signal. And then we had an inside bar day today with another wick. An inside bar is a no signal, and we go back to the previous signal. Yeah, to me, an inside bar, inside trading, there may be some signal there. There's not really, like nothing happened, right? To me, a signal is a sweep of the high of the lows or a held break. There's no, price didn't really move. It didn't take any levels. It just stood there. So we go to this previous sweep of the lows. What I don't like is that there's another low just below, but there's also a lot of liquidity just above. There's like levels all over the place. I don't want to trade Bitcoin, but the fact that we still have a long signal off of this sweep to me is gives me, it's a long signal, and you want Bitcoin and ETH to both print long signals at the same time. Now, there's a couple things going against this trade. One is that Bitcoin has untouched liquidity below. Another thing is that Bitcoin swept the highs more recently than it swept the lows. So it doesn't look great on the weekly necessarily. And then the other reason is that um, the dollar is potentially staging a reversal. DXY looks like it might be staging a reversal. So I it doesn't matter that much though, because what the dollar's doing is unconfirmed, and also while it has some inverse correlation, it's not like day to day strongly correlated. So it's possible for the dollar to have a green day and ETH has a green day, or the dollar has a red day and ETH has a red day. However, if the dollar has a green month, ETH probably will have a red month. If the dollar has a red month, ETH will probably have a green month. And if I think that April is going to be a green month for the dollar, then I would think that red is going to be a red month for ETH. But even if that happens, it's not confirmed at all, and we haven't necessarily hit that turning point. There's 3 weeks to go, more than 3 weeks to go in the month. But this is the trade, and just based on the simple candlestick pattern on the daily of sweeping the previous day's low 2 straight days, it's rare that it doesn't work. So my risk, how did I risk it? I risked $1,000 in my live account. I risked $2,500 in my FTMO account, which is in a drawdown, and I risked $2,000 in my FTT account. I think I probably should have risked more across the board, especially in my FTT account. Like, I'm not risking very much that anything can really go badly wrong, but just considering how high probability it is of working, I think jumping on it probably would have been wise, especially for my True Forex Funds account, which is it's close to passing. I need $7,000. So if I had chose to risk like 3,000 or 3,500 instead of 2,000, that I could pass it on this trade pretty easily. Although if we got back to the top of the range, it's about a 3R, but I would need more than that for to pass my TFF. That said, like, I'm still 4 days into that challenge. I think I started it Wednesday actually, which is kind of crazy. No, did I start it Wednesday? No, I started it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm only 4 days in. I have 30 days, so there's no rush, and there'll be other good opportunities. But I just feel like if I have a really high probability chance of winning one or more R, I should size it somewhat. Like, risking 1.5% just seems like unnecessarily conservative, when I know for a fact it won't necessarily work, but I know that the odds are really good. It's overwhelmingly likely to be a win. So, not necessarily a huge winner, but some kind of a winner, right? I can probably get something from it tomorrow, or I can hold it. We'll see how we play it. It's important for me to win though. Like, this isn't the sort of thing where if it runs a day, I'm gonna add on to it. No, this isn't to me the market for that, and I just want to claim my wins and get on with it, because if I could say I get another 2R from this trade, if I do, I might not, I might lose, and I'm coming out of the first week up 6R going into the weekend, like, or going into next week, and my True Forex Funds challenge is almost passed. But yeah, FTMO, like, if I need to get 10R, risking 1, it just seems so slow, and the chance of running out of time. Because say I have 70% win rate with 1R and I take 30 trades, I should get 10R. It just, thinking about the way I'm going to risk though, maybe the way I should do it is just risk small the first couple weeks and then increase my risk as time runs down. That's probably the way that makes the most sense, because, like, if I trade solidly, I should get there, but if it's like I have a week to go and I need to get 10R. Obviously, I just need to increase my risk. And, say it's the last day and I need 10R. Well, I should take on the maximum amount of risk, right? So, yeah, that's my trade journal, trade diary. We'll see how it plays out. And yeah, thanks for watching. Much love. Peace.